He has did his UG at Nagaraj College in the year 1996 and PG in 1998 from Pondicherry University, and PhD in the year 2004 from the IIT Madras. And he has also done his postdoctoral experiences at South Korea and JMC SR. Then he has been a research associate from 2004 to 2005. He has also received some awards. To mention a few, that is Certificate of Reviewer Excellence and Metals Research Society of India. For a member, he has been a member of Indian Liquid Crystal Society, and he has also received his postdoctoral fellowship in nanoscience and technology, and he has received Professor A. Laskar Prize for the first PhD thesis in physics at IIT Madras in 2005. With this few words of introduction, I would like to welcome on behalf of all of us, Dr. Angathan to deliver his lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me? Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for your interest here. Secondly, thank the coordinator, the organizers, coordinators, faculty, principal of this college for arranging this meeting. So such meetings are always important to make the students motivated. See, the motivation is something like which we are really looking for. For example, like when you see the PhD, how many of you know about the PhD degree? You are all in, you must be in bachelor's. How many of you know about? Yeah, good. So that is the reason this talk is arranged. So you understand that you are like, after your basic, you might be thinking of a job in some software is a very common job, but a job where some may be going for a teaching or some may be trying for some job. But what our interest is to make the people interested in research career. You should take your career as a research. For example, if you take me like I am from, like you all must be knowing a place called Villanur in Pondicherry. I am from that place. I completed my degree from Taguras College in Pondicherry. Okay. Then I moved to Pondicherry Central University for my master's. That is MSc in physics. Afterwards, I moved. I was like from a regular family. Nothing like nobody was working in any government or anything. I was working. I was from the family. Then my only aim was like to get myself in a good position, which will be satisfying to you. So, such a motivation you should bring in yourself. You ought to have a dream. You should dream to where you want to be. You might hear of like Professor Abdul Kalam, like talking about dreams. It's really true. You have to dream, like after 5 years where you want to be. After 10 years where you want to be. That is how the life moves on. So, as you dream and work towards it, then things will fall in place. Okay? It's kind of a philosophical, but it's true. That's how life goes. 95% of things in life is already defined. You don't have anything to change. Like whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. And the 5% is the one which request to you people. Please consider continuing in your career in research. There are really a good in research. If you see the recent report, like kind of less than 1% of the Indian population is coming to PhD. So given our population, the 1% is really less. If you see a countries like China, America. So people who are taking career in research, like it will be like always 10%. Chinese are like kind of extremely good. I mean, I have to take the example because they made the plan and they are executing. They are kind of 25% of people are in research. In different level. Need not be PhD always. Some people end up with research career after PhD, after MSc. There are different, like if you want to really try, there are different chances available, different choices available. So you have to make up the mind and look for it. That is what I want to do. So with this forward, I would like to move on to the technical part. So today, if you see the research, I don't think very big. We are all simple people. Like we just try to do things by picking up our basic understanding. That's all. It's nothing like you don't have to really worry. I mean, don't think that okay, he's a big person, like he may be very good kind of thing. It's nothing like that. All are normal people. We start from scratch. See, every year I am taking a new student, for example, PhD student. PhD students coming from the master's background, that is MSc background. So the PhD students, for them it is from beginning. Whatever I was reading for last 10, 20 years, the students is going to start reading from that thing. Okay? That's how the research life starts from each and every thing. So you don't have to worry about like whether you will be suitable or not. It's kind of your interest is the one which is going to take you. So why I am talking about is, see, if you see me like my research has started from kind of conducting polymers. I work on polymers. Do you know polymers? What is polymer? Come on, you want to talk.
Compounds of carbon,
Yes. It's a kind of a monomeric molecules of carbon, nitrogen, or oxygen in some cases. Okay, these monomers are arranged in the infinite chain. That's a polymer. So, if you see the polymer, like polymer is insulating. You agree with me, right?
Yes.
Polymer is insulating.
So, we need to transfer electrons to the electron.
Yes. You take any material where the charge carrier moves, it gives rise to a flow of current. That is, the kind of flow of current is called conductivity. It need not be always in that. I'm talking about DC conductivity. It's AC conductivity. It's completely different mechanism. So essentially, the flow of charge carriers is a conductivity. Now, when I took the polymer, I have to introduce a conducting element. What is conducting element? Mostly electron, and some cases holes, and some other bigger size particles also there, like protons, excitons, kind of thing. So these are introduced charge carriers. So the conducting polymer, how do we do it? See, the reason why I am explaining is that in the first instance I was exposed to the research. So I want to share my experience with you. So that will tell you like how to get started. So understanding polymers itself is difficult. I kind of think like I was also seeing my guys list on the first day. I didn't understand what is the polymer itself. Polymer is like quite a our place in class Javatal. Must be knowing this language. Okay, that is the polymer we know. So this is the polymer we know. So how it will conduct? So how to go about the next step is that you have to read the research literature. People call literature in the research mainly. So what you have to do is you should be reading the research in the particular field over the past years. Okay. So whatever the material I was working on is a polyaniline. Polyaniline is nothing but a benzene chain, which will be like kind of expanding. So this polyaniline, I was a bit lucky because I don't have to do much except that I have to bring in the doping. Doping, have you heard of doping? Have you heard of semiconductors? Sorry? Yes, very good. So, best example if you say semiconductor is a silicon semiconductor. Oh, like you all must be having a mobile phone in your hand. The mobile phone is possible because of this research. Okay, try to appreciate things. Okay, don't stop. So it is possible because of the semiconductor technology using silicon, where like silicon is intrinsic semiconductor, you are doping beta and delta and things. So similar doping we realize with conducting poly matrix. So I have chosen a matrix called polymethyl PMMA. That is a matrix I took. Then I made this how my result started. So it was not a successful work. Don't think that okay, first instant I got it nothing. I was not at all successful. My sample did not work. Then I started collaborating. I went to people who are doing it, and then I started like kind of a reverse engineering how they have done it. You know, a characterization, different type of measurements to understand how it is, why it is not working to me, and it is working to them. That's the way of doing it. Okay. So this is how it all starts. So research, you always remember that there is everything is new to anybody when you started. So you want to read, you want to put effort to understand. That's what makes you to improve your knowledge in the particular. Can you go to the first slide? Yeah. If you see the topic here, I'm going to talk about colors. This is a research I started like say some 5 years with the aim of making different type of reaction. See, the research like always you hear about a word serendipity. It is good. That's called serendipity. Okay. So in research, always the serendipity works. You start doing something, then you will get a good result in something else. So the research will be kind of deviating towards that. That's how it started. So you see my aim in this work, I want to develop nanostructures. Like if you see my institute, this Center for Nano and Software Sciences. I'm from the Nano Science Institute. So I'm doing nano research. Okay. So nanoscience you must be familiar, right? What is nanoscience? What is nanoscience and what is nanotechnology? See, you have to talk it. You should not be shy away from talking. Okay? The one who is good is the one who talks good. Okay? That's how the world see. You want to come up, then you want to talk. So, what is nano? And the name implies very good. So, it is the length scale you are talking about. It is the size scale you are talking about. So, it will be in different quantity you will be talking. It need not be there is always, please remember, there are volume scale people talk about, there are people talk about the time scale. So, the different version it is there. So, the nano is 10 power minus 9 length scale. Okay, 10 power minus 9 meter is a 1 nanometer. 10 power minus 9 seconds is a nanosecond pulses. It's a very important field of research. Okay, it's a non-destructive testing, which is very well used for the material research. That is also the field of nano. So nano is the one like to give you a broader aspect. Nano is the one where you are understanding or studying the nano concepts. That is the nanoscience. The concept is operating in the 10 power minus 10 meter or nanosecond. That is called nano. So essentially, the nanoscience is all about this one. In the nanoscience, we are going to talk about science of the material in this length scale, in the nanometer or nanosecond scale. That is the nano. Now, this material you will be using for different applications, right? So, such a research or such a study or such application is called nanotechnology. Now you understand nanoscience and nanotechnology, right? Am I audible? Okay. Good. So this is the nanostructure. So if you see this material, we developed nanostructures of some material. We got an interesting property of this material. So now we started working towards it. We call it structural colors. Do you know about colors, right? How a color of a material comes from? Yes, absorption and reflection. But you are getting different kind of color pictures. Why the color is coming? How you people think of this? Louder. It's not okay. Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah. So you understand what is nanoscience and nanotechnology? I talked about nanostructures. Now I'm talking about the colors. Colors is nothing but whatever you are seeing. So I ask you a question like, how do you see colors regularly? You take a material, it's a different color. When the material is when the material color will be same. When do you realize a color? Okay, simple example you take. Take it's going up. Okay. I like this. Okay. This is fine? Yeah. So take a white and black color. Okay. When something is white, when something is black. Black you must be familiar, a black body radiation you might have studied in your course. What is black body radiation? What is black body? Yes. And it absorbs all kinds of radiations. Okay. So as it shows like it is absorbing everything. That is the black body. Okay. Whatever light you shine, it absorbs it. Now come to the reverse. White color. What is white color? Why do you see a white color? So white color is nothing but a combination of colors. You know the visible colors, right? So how many colors are in visible color? Vijaya. Now, when you put the 7 colors together, you are seeing white. Now, so imagine whatever the white you are seeing, that white is a combination of all these colors. So it means that whatever the white material or white object is there, all the colors are getting reflected. Sometimes there is emission, like I don't want to go to details of it. Essentially, all the colors are coming from the object. That's when you are seeing the white color. So, getting the colors, can you go to the next slide? Yeah, okay, next slide. Yeah, stay there. So, getting the color, people do different means. So, you might have heard dyeing. Dyeing the cloth is a very important technique. Dyeing cloth or dyeing different objects. It need not be cloth always. And the pigments. Pigments is essentially from the plant. Your flowers in different colors. So where is it coming from? It's from the pigments in the plant. Okay. Now these two colors, if you take, this is like basic methods of making the colors. If you take the two methods of making the color, you see that there is a length one. The color is going to fade away. Color is going to get bleached over time. time or reaction with the chemicals or reaction with the sunlight, the color is going to bleach. Color is going to fade away over time. So these colors, though it is readily used everywhere, it is having a lifetime. So on the other hand, you know some other example where there are natural colors like peacock feather, a butterfly wings. It's having a natural colors. Do you anytime think of like how the peacock feather color is coming or how the butterfly wing color is coming? Is there any coloring agent there? See, our times are different. Our times, if I have to read something, I have to go to library. You people are in Google times. Whatever you want, you can take your mobile phone out, you search, you can find out. Okay? So you should be effectively doing it. Whatever you hear, whatever you read, you should try to understand the basics of it. Okay? So I'll give you a brief introduction to that. You people go and read. It's a very interesting topic of science where the colors are produced by a physical mechanism. Unlike the pigments and the dyes, where the coloring is coming from the type of electronic transition in the material. Yeah, okay, it's there. If you see that the middle one, you see the middle one, this is the dye. Whatever the blue color which we are using, it is coming from these molecules. Have you, any people like realize this? Such a molecule there in your blue color. This is the indigo. This is indigo dye. It's very commonly used dye for the blue color. So if they take this type of material. This type of material is having a electronic levels. Okay. Whenever there is a electronic transition, the color will appear. So coloring, if you are seeing some color, so always realize that there is a mechanism, there is a physical mechanism going on in this material where the material is emitting radiation of that wavelength. What is the wavelength of blue color? Approximately where it will come? Yeah, 5,000. So, okay, I am used to nanometers, so I move to nanometer. It's a 560 nanometer. Okay, 560 nanometer is the, see, the visible wavelength is 400 to 700. Remember that. So 400 is the violet, 700 is the red. Okay? So below 400 you have ultraviolet, above 700 you have infrared. So all the 7 colors you observe, which will be falling between 400 to 700. At least you think of some numbers within the range. Don't think some other numbers. 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer is the visible range. Okay. So around 400 you have a violet, around 600, 700, 600 to 700 red is there. So red is a slightly bigger band. Again, science involved there. I don't want to go to that because there's no time for that now. So you read about it. So what are the colors there? What is the band? Like what is the wavelength of each color and what is the bandwidth of each color? You will understand. It's important science there to try to understand it. Yeah, coming back to this. So this blue color, which shows that the object is emitting wavelength in the blue range. Okay, that is the reason you are seeing the blue color. Yeah. So you know the artificial colors, like you have colors like kind of color powder. See, these are all coming from the different types of dyes. And other side, the tattoo, different tattoo color is very common nowadays. So it's coming from the pigments. You will use a natural. Okay. So and different colors used by different. See, the coloring agent like to get colors. Okay. You see a red color cloth, just put it in boiling water, add a cloth, white cloth to that. The cloth will take the color. It's kind of the pigments which is available in the cloth available in the floor getting on water. Have you seen oil spilling on water during rainy season?
Yes, sir.
So these oil, you see that it will have a different coloration. You might have noticed. Okay, you see from different angle, it will show different color. It's something called iridance. This property name is called iridance. Okay, so such a principle of oil on water, okay, is the one which is used. Okay. So this, I mean, you want to read that actually. See, I still remember I think I have read during my masters. Q beauty casa equal to n lambda. That's a formula for this oil on the water, oil drop on water, oil film on water. We used to derive casa equal to n lambda. It's our time equation. It's hard to remember. Maybe now the notations are different. They opened it, right? Full beauty, cos r equal to m. So mu is the refractive index, T is the thickness, R is the angle. Yes, angle of refraction. Okay. Lambda is the wavelength. So it is nothing but there are two layers of films. Okay. One is the water oil interface, other one is the oil air interface. Okay. So the light getting reflected from the two interfaces, that is the air oil interface and the inner layer, that is oil water interface. These two lights undergo interference and giving a constructive interference. That is where the color appears. Because the destructive interference does not appear. You can see that you go to like very low angle, you don't see any colors. That's because of destructive. You see from certain angle close to 90 degrees, you will see different colors. Okay, it will be completely black if you go to very low angle, it is coming from the constructive. Or like kind of second order, that's also reason. But essentially, whatever the colors you are seeing coming from the constructive. Now, coming to these structures, the light is getting reflected from this type of nanostructure. See, why the light is getting reflected? That is again science. You should think why the light is getting reflected. See, optics is a very important field of physics. Okay, people say that you understand optics, you will understand other topics easily. Optics has everything. So it's again optics principle. So whenever there is a big refractive index different, the light will be deviating. See, whenever light going from one medium to other medium, there is a refractive different, light will deviate. If the refractive index is very much, then it will be completely reflective. There is a big difference between what is the refractive index of the air? What approximately? Okay. Practical purpose one is fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now, if you take a regular glass, I am wearing a glass. I am coming to that. So I want to explain something. That's the reason I'm saying this. This glass, what is the refractive index? 1.5. Okay. So, whenever you wear a glass, so those who are wearing glass will know that you people are lucky are not wearing glass. Good to see that actually. Our generation glasses are there. Yeah. So these glasses, if you see that those who are wearing, so we are seeing only that 80% of what we are seeing. We are only 80% light is going inside. We are not seeing all the 100% of light. When you see with the blind eyes, 100% of light is going. When you wear a glass, 80% is gone. 20% is gone. Only 80% I am seeing. Okay, so glass is having a different refractive index. Nowadays, anti-reflection coatings come. Why again I will ask question, what is anti-reflection coating? You please go read, I am not going to deviate. Okay, so anti-reflection coatings are being done to reduce this. So then like you can take it to like about 90 or 95 around that, depending on what you use. So such a principle is the anti-reflection coating principle is again the kind of structural color. So you make the coating on the glass such a way that the thickness of the coating matches with the wavelength or multiples of wavelength. Okay, that is going to change the way the surface is going to react. So, if you take these type of structures, the nanostructures having nano features, size features, which matches with the light radiation. Okay. So, that is another example. I don't know. Can you go next here? This is that regular lizard you must be knowing. We call pachondi. You know, right? How it changes color. It's called chameleon in English. Okay? This is pachondi. How it changes color. It is by this structural color principle. So if you see the chameleon body, when it is in a material object on the surface where it has a different color, the chameleon body will make a nanostructure, okay, that matches with the reflection color same as the surface color. That is this is a very interesting example. So I want to take it up. Maybe I missed it. I'm sorry about it. So the chameleon is a very different color. The color changes. That's what it meant for. That's what it like. The basic property of it. The color of the chameleon will change. So the chameleon color change works by this principle. Please remember that whenever you see a butterfly or a peacock or a chameleon, this is what you have to remember. These are nanostructures on the surface which is giving rise to that. So it can have a surface modification. Essentially, it's kind of a small projection will come on the surface. It's nothing great. Okay? The projection size of the projection and the gap between the projection will be changing. Accordingly, the reflected color will change. That's how it works. Okay? When it's on the red color, it will be red. When it's on the green, it will be the green. So that's the best example for it. So here I'm showing butterfly and a peacock feather where like a similar features are there, nanostructures are there, and it is giving rise to these structural colors, which is possible. The butterfly feather. I hope all of you may be like showing in your books. It's our time. That's a very famous one. In school times, the butterfly feather we used to keep in books. Yes, together it will be there. I have one actually. I'm preserving it. So if you see that the color will be same. Color is same as what it was. So that shows that the permanent nature of the color. Okay, that's what I want to stress here. Okay. So this structural color, the colors which is coming from the structures on the surface, is going to stay permanent. So this is what I want to understand. So if you see here, there are two mechanisms I'm showing here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, two mechanisms I'm showing here. One is the films on the substrate, okay, and the nanostructure on the surface. Now, the films, like what I have done is, like I have taken a glass substrate. On the top of the glass, I brought a metal film. Metal films are conducting. You know that silver films is coated on the mirrors. You know that? Either I am not reaching you, or you people are tired enough, or like you are not in. You don't want to understand. You have to be responding. Okay. So the metal film is the one which I put. On the top of it, I bring a oxide. So these on the other side, like you have the same metal film and the nanostructure. These two are the ones I am going to explain. So you see here, when I have such a structure, the thin film and the oxide, I have taken wide band gap oxide. The band gap principle, do you understand? What is band gap? Yeah, is in the different energy levels. Okay, it's a conduction band level and the valence band level. So whatever the energy, so conduction band, valence band is nothing but like conducting electrons. Okay? So you ought to use that to make the electrons conducting. So there is. Let me get the water bottle. Thank you. So, thank you. So this conduction band and the valence band, you must be familiar. So the difference between this conduction band and valence band is the band gap. So depending on this band gap, the material will be like kind of the properties can be tuned, or materials color will be tuned, everything. So in this case, I have taken a wide band gap semiconductor. Wide band gap is nothing but like band going in the ultraviolet range. So this material will be like kind of transparent to the visible range. So that is the oxide material I have chosen. So what I will do is I am doing tuning of this oxide layer to get the different colors. That is the research all about. And the same oxide, I make a nanostructures and see how the coloring is changed. And importantly, is not only that. So the structural colors, there is always a problem. Like the coloring is going to be affected by the dust on the surface. So this is like a regular principle. Whenever you have a surface, if more dust is deposited on that, the dust is to affect the coloration. Now, what we found is this type of material is having a property by which the material can clean itself. We call it a self-cleaning surfaces. So I will go to the details of it. Can you go to next slide? Yeah. So this is again, I want to introduce a technique by which we prepare the materials. So preparation of materials is one of the things important for the applications. See, if you make a bulk material or device for everything, the material cost will be higher, the size of the material will be higher. Whatever the mobile phone, imagine like if you want to get a mobile phone of this size, do anybody carry it? No, right? So you want a thin mobile phone possible. So the thin mobile phone possible because of the thin form, and from there we can fabricate the devices. That is called the thin film technology. So usually people call, yesterday there was a talk, I think, physical vapor deposition, there is a talk, thin film deposition. You might have attended. So what it will do is, like you evaporate the material will deposit on the substrate. And in some cases, people they create a plasma and it will deposit on the material. It's called sputtering. In our case, it's the same as the physical vapor deposition. What we do is, we evaporate the material. Okay. For evaporation, we use a electron beam technique. Okay. Do you understand electron beam? Electron beam. Yeah. So essentially, what it will do is it's kind of a arcing. You must be knowing the arcing. You take two electrical weights, so you just keep close. The arcing will happen. This you might have seen. Don't say no. I have checked it. Okay. You just electrical spark you might have seen. So such a sparking is the same principle here. We keep the two leads away. Apply a higher potential. Whatever potential generated, it will eject the electron from the surface. It is called the electric field induced emission of electrons. There is another one called the thermionic emission, where by heating the material you can emit electron. It's the electric field induced emission of electrons. So the electron beam will be emitted due to the applied field, or the thermionic also is there. Thermionic is nothing but you take a tungsten filament. Tungsten, you know, right? Where the tungsten filament is used, Okay, ball pit is used. Now you keep a good condition. Condition I mean is you have to have a very good vacuum. You cannot do in ambient actually, it will burn immediately. You keep it in a vacuum. If you heat the conditioner filament, applying a very high voltage what I mean is like a kilovolt. So 30 kilovolt people call 30 kilovolt, 40 kilovolt kind of thing. Then the electron will be ejected from the surface. This is called as thermionic emission. So in case of our technique, what we use electron beam emission, we generate electrons like this. One of the things, don't worry about how it is generated. Electron beam is generated. Electron are ejected from the surface from the tip. That will be directed to the sample. So when the electron beam hitting, it is having a so high energy, the material will evaporate in no time. It can be a controlled way. You can make it evaporate in no time. This is called the electron beam induced evaporation. It's called E-beam evaporation, we call simply. So you make the electron beam, heat the material, evaporate the material. The reason why I am doing it is, for this method of deposition, I want to evaporate the material. The material should reach the substrate in a direct. I don't want to, when you evaporate something, the evaporation will go in like data 180 degree. The data 180 degree, imagine that. You go in all directions. Whereas in the case of this E-beam evaporation, it will be a directional emission. Whatever material evaporated will come in one direction. Now, that is where I am playing around. Whatever material getting evaporated, instead of collecting it a vertical portion, I am collecting it with different angle. Okay? If I collect it different angle, the material will deposit at that. So it's basically a shadowing effect. So when the material comes like this, you form droplets. You might have seen that whenever the water is boiling, you keep a plate on the top. First, the droplets will form on the surface. Okay? Then it slowly settles. That is the thin film deposition. That's how the thin film deposition works. Of course, it's an ambient technique. In thin film, you need to have a vacuum. Okay? Vacuum is used for avoiding contamination, free path, and next is that to increase the time to form a monolates. Basically, otherwise, the ambient contamination, whatever the surrounding you are sitting in the middle of dust. That's how it is. Whether you like it or not, like about 30 micrometer particles, about 1,000 numbers in a cubic feet is there in the ambient. Okay. So, such a contamination will affect your material property, your film property. That is why you need a vacuum. So, such a evaporation, so I evaporate the material, I collect with a different angle. So, the same as the first droplets will form. Because of that angle, the droplets will have a shadowing effect. Can you go next? Yeah. So, if you see here, this is a regular deposition. The film, the depositor on the substrate. This is a glancing deposition. It's an oblique deposition, we call it. It's a glass deposition, glancing angle deposition. So, in this deposition, you see here, whatever material comes, if you have the droplet, then the area behind the droplet will be a shadow. The material will not reach. So, whatever the first droplet forms, it's a random effect, it's not a uniform deposition. Whatever the substrate, whatever the material droplets form, on the droplets, it will grow. The nanostructures will grow. Okay. So this is how we make nanostructures by the physical method. See, the reason why I am saying physical method is like there is a meaning there because nanostructures are prepared by different methods, chemical method and physical method. The physical methods are the one which uses replacing this, and the chemical methods are like kind of completely different one where like you take the atoms, from the atoms you make grow a nanostructure. Okay, people call bottom up approach. Okay, the chemical method. The physical method usually it is called the top down method, top down approach. Top down approach is nothing but like taking and just keep doing it. Just keep reducing the size. Whatever like laser pointer like this, you will be having a nanoparticle are there, and you keep reducing the size. That is called a top-down approach. Okay. So these physical methods are coming in a top-down approach, but still like you can call it a bottom approach also, because we are starting from a small droplet. But this is how it works. This is the way of nanostructure. See, if you see here, these are nanostructures which is we prepared in our laboratory. You see here, like it is about 50 nanometer size. Is grown on the surface. Okay. This is the one. And on the other side, like this is the thin film, regular thin film. Can you go next? This one I just want to mention, but this may be like very basic actually. It's essentially like how the nanostructures grow. See, when you want something to grow, you have to give energy. Okay. Now, when you give enough energy, the material will form in the regular bulk form. Bulk form. The constraint is nothing but keeping the size smaller to keep the growing the smaller size. The other constraint is reducing the smaller energy or don't give the energy at all. Okay. If you have such a cases, the film growth will happen like this. That's what is shown here. Whatever the film which grows, the nanostructure will grow here is this range, the zone 1. Because we are not having enough energy to interact with the neighbors to make a bulk. So this is the glad mechanism I told you. So first the droplets forms. Okay. Then due to the shadowing, whatever the film comes next, whatever the evaporate comes next, it will grow around the droplets only. It will not reach the shadowed area. Okay. So this is how the droplets grow into nanostructures. Go next. Yeah. So this is the typical nanostructure people make with this method. We make this type of structures, zigzag structures, and we have vertical structures. Vertical, slanted, zigzag. Okay. Anything is possible by changing it. So what we do is the substrate which is connecting the evaporant will be in this angle. Okay. If we connect like this, the material is evaporating, so the substrate is connecting like this. If we connect like this, it will be a slanted random. And when you change the direction during in a given interval, then you will get a zigzag. We will go in one direction, then after 10 minutes we will go in other direction, so it will go to next direction. So it will be a zigzag. And the same direction we will rotate, then it will give a vertical. That's a very simple method we have to develop it. Go next. Yeah, to go next. Yes. Now, when we have structures like this, so very simple thing, I'm not modifying anything else. A titanium film is there, top titanium nanorods are grown, and for the different thickness of nanorods, color is changed. Can you see here? Okay. If you have 20 nanometer range, it's kind of a gold color. Then for the 60, 80 goes to red color, and for the 90 under nanometer goes to blue color. Okay. So what we do is we do a back calculation. We take the thickness and go next. Okay. Just before going to that, this is how the surface will look like when you see in the electron microscope. I mean, what is electron microscope? I'll ask the question. Please go read. Okay. I don't have time to go through it. I'm running short of time now. So you read about electron microscope is nothing but a regular optical microscope where you see a slide during your laboratory experiment. Similar one. You use it.
Yesterday we had an online lecture about sunset.
Very good. So that is the electron microscope. You have studied about it yesterday. So it's essentially the wave nature of the electron is utilized here to see the smaller dimensions. So you can see from, let's say, 2 nanometer, you can see from scanning electron microscope. Your transient electron microscope or STEM, you can go up to 1 nanometer. That's the issue. Please read about it. Go next. Yeah, this is the calculation I want to show you. So what I do is I take those values of my fields. Okay, I go to a software. I can like simulate the data. Whatever the reflectance coming from this bilayer structure, KO to TI layers, how this bilayers, theoretically I can calculate, I can check the different colors I can show here. Okay. This is the mechanism for different colors. Okay. As the colors increase, as the thickness increases, the colors will increase. This is how it is. This is coming from simple theoretic calculation to show that we can reach that. Go next. Yeah. Then the same mechanism we can bring in the thin films as well. If you see here, this is the different thickness thin film. So please note that, like the same whatever we get on the nanostructures, here by just varying the thickness of the material, we get the different colors. Okay. Again, this is a structural different interfaces giving that, but the mechanism is different here, unlike that. Go next. Go next. Yeah. This is the one. So here we can show that our external data, this is a regular reflective data. Yeah, this is again a different technique I am using. The reflectance and the absorption studies are a best we do. So it's nothing but like we shine a white light to the sample and see which colors are absorbed and which colors are reflected. It's a regular optical spectrometer. UV visible spectrometer is called the regular optical spectrometer. Okay, so this is how the data will be collected. So white light will be shined and see that which colors are getting reflected. Okay. That's how the study is made. So if you see that the dotted lines are the fitted curve and the solid lines are the external data, so we can simulate the data using this one. So what I want to first here is that by using the same technique, by varying the thickness and by varying the nanostructures, we can produce different colors. Okay. Next. Yeah. And the same thing we can prefer on the kind of flexible substrate also. So we take a PET substrate. The PET is a regular polymer that OIP sheet. OIP sheet you know, right? That OIP sheet will take and deposit these two layers, and we can produce different colors, and it is flexible. Go next. Let's move to the next topic, which is interesting. Go next. Yeah, so it is kind of a material independent. This is a typical physical principle. It's a material independent. So we have done an experiment and simulation to show that the similar method, similar correlation we can produce with the different combination of oxides and the next. Yeah. This is the one I am going to talk about next. So now you are seeing that how you produce the structural colors by varying the nanostructures, diamonds of nanostructures and the thickness of nanostructures, how you are going to make the structural colors. So when I introduce the structural colors, I know that structural colors also have difficulty due to the dust. Now I am going to tell you how this dust collection, how is avoided, how we can attain this dust-free surface, the self-clearing surface in this material. That's what I am going to tell you. Next. Next. Yeah. When you want to study the kind of cleaning, first aspect you have to remember this property called hydrophobic and hydrophilic nature. Okay. Hydrophobic, you must be, as the name implies, like hydrophobic is the one where which reflect the water. So you know the lotus leaves, right? The water will not stick to it. What is the mechanism for that? Oil, water? Yeah, surface tension also partially, but the main part is coming from the surface features. It has the micrometer features, so it avoids changes the contact angle. So the contact angle is the one which, that's what I want to stress. The contact angle is the one which plays the role here. Okay, how it forms the contact angle. Can you go next? Yeah. So if you see the important thing, the water wets the surface. It is called hydrophilic. When it's not wetting, is called hydrophobic. Okay. Now, when you have a contact angle, see, if you see here this angle, the angle between the surface, and the tangent to the droplet. This angle is the what called contact angle. This contact angle is the one which is going to define what type of material it is, whether it is a hydrophobic or hydrophilic. Okay. If you have this type of contact angle which is less than 5 degrees, it is going to be hydrophilic. If it is super hydrophilic. If it is 90 and less, it is hydrophilic. 90 and 150, it is hydrophobic. Above 150, above 180, I mean between only 150 and 180, it is called the super hydrophobic. So super hydrophobic is your lotus leaves. Okay. So lotus leaves is like having a more than 180. Okay. This is what you have to remember. Now, there are two ways of seeing it. One is like a lotus leaf. When water falls on it, the water will not keep it going. So when it going away, the water will take away the dust. So this is one way of getting the hydrophobic. But still the lotus leaves is not clean always. You might have noticed this. Okay. So for that you have to go to the reverse. That is the hydrophilic. You make a surface in such a way that water will completely get the surface. So that is making the surface super hydrophilic. Okay. So you have the contact angle. Like if you see here, the contact angle will be like this, less than 5 degrees. You make a surface feature in such a way that the contact angle will be less than 5 degrees. So this will make a super hydrophilic surface. So our aim is to make this surface super hydrophilic. So a drop of water falling on the surface, it will clean itself. You don't need to do any rubbing or like kind of cleaning, wiping it. So this is the principle we use to make this. So if you happen to come to Bangalore or Mysore, the scientific planetarium, there is an exhibition kept there where the hydrophilic nanostructure surface is kept for the exhibition. Like the surface will be there, the water will just go, the surface will be clean always. No water will stay there and no dust will be there. Okay. This is the mechanism. So we explored this hydrophilic principle. Will you tell me when to stop? Yes, it is another station, right? 10 minutes, right? Yeah. I will go. Yeah. So you see, take the hydrophilic surfaces. That is the advantage. So you have hydrophilic surfaces. You pour water. The water will wet the surface fully, clean it and pour. Okay. So this is the principle we exploit for this study. Go next. Yes. So when you say this droplet and angle, how to measure? I just want to introduce this instrument. It is called contact angle meter. Okay. Contact angle meter is nothing but you take a surface, whatever the surface you want to study. Okay. You take a pipette, micro pipette. Okay. 1 microliter of drop of water will be placed on the surface, and when it is being placed, you will be shining the surface and taking a photograph with the camera. Okay, this is how the contact is seen. This may look very simple. It is not very easy. Imagine that you should have a camera to capture 1 microliter of water. Okay, it's not very easy. So what is the like kind of a human hair thickness? Kind of 100 micrometer. So that is what a human eye you can see. Okay. Now we are talking about 1 microliter. It is like nothing existing for our eyes. Okay. So only with the special camera, this can be captured. So that is the specialty of this. So what we do is that we put the different sizes, like say 1 micrometer to 3-4 micrometer, do measurement, and we calculate the angle. So by can you go next? Next. Yes. So this is how the photography. Okay. This is the photograph of 1 microliter water droplet. Imagine. Okay. So such accuracy the camera is taking photograph. So once you get this photograph, then by using image software, we calculate the contact angle. That's how this measurement is done. So once you make this one, if you see here the surfaces, if you see the tail, the nanodots, this is kind of a hydrophobic. Okay. Whereas case of film, it is a less than 90 degrees, highly hydrophilic. Sorry. So this is this is hydrophobic, and this is super hydrophilic. You see here, this is less than 80 degrees. Can you go next? Yeah. So now I'm showing you how with the different light exposure, the droplets, like the contact angle changes. It goes from the hydrophobic to a hydrophilic state. Okay. This is by exposing UV light. The UV light is nothing but like you are giving an energy which is equivalent to the band gap of this tail. So there is a photocatalytic effect. So photocatalytic nothing but like when the UV light is absorbed, it produces electron and holes. Electrons reacting with the OH group, and holes are reacting with the hydroxyl group. Sorry, express group. Okay. This is the photocatalytic activity. So such a photocatalytic activity is happening. Because of the photocatalytic activity, okay, and together with the surface feature, you are going to get this type of modification. So it goes from a hydrophobic to a hydrophilic state with the UV absorption. Okay. So this is in the film under the nanostructures. We'll go next. Yeah. And then this will be recovered whenever we store this sample in the dark for long hours. We can recover the same contact angle. The material can be like brought back to the same property. Go next. Yeah. And we can tune the sample by annealing. I'm not going to full details of it. Essentially, what is happening is when the anneal these films, it is changing to the mole of clay is converting to clay only. That's what giving the different colors. Go next. Yeah. So if you see here, like we have taken the opaque, this material works. The transmission is the opaque film is converted to a transmitting film. Next. Yeah. So again, the annealing property also we can recover. Go next. Yeah. So I want to show you some other example in addition to this wetting property. So this material, what we do is we use for this different kinds of sensing application, different chemicals we expose it. So essentially, in this case, you see here, this is acetone, sorry, this is ethanol sensor. What will happen is whenever these nanostructures are like exposed to ethanol vapors will go form a carbon dioxide layers on the surface. Okay. So the hydrocarbons forming on the surface, it changes the material's reflecting property. That's the reason whatever the color which is like this, after exposure it changes to blue color. So essentially it increases the thickness of the carboxylic layer on the nanostructures. So it goes from the gold to the blue color. Go next. Yeah. So this is kind of an encryption one application which we showed. What we did is like we gave the thickness of the layer like this. So if you see with the normal eyes, it will be like clear. It will be like you don't see the any feature. But when you see with a certain angle, this will be seen. Okay. If you see with the plane 90 degrees, no feature will be there in the surface. The surface will be clear. If you start seeing with a sudden angle, the surface features will appear. So kind of this we have shown like some letter T there by this. Yeah. So with this I have come to the summary. I hope I am in time. Sorry. So I started with the aim of making a nanostructures for this type of structural colors application. So I attained this with the different deposition technique called the glancing angle deposition. Then by varying the thickness of layer structure, I can tune different colors. That is one part. Next, I can tune the material property by changing the temperature. Okay, by going the room temperature to 600 degree, the material goes from this color to a transparent. Okay. And this is a kind of a reversible reaction. It goes from by exposure to UV. It can take one can take it from a hydrophobic to hydrophilic and then back to hydrophobic. So this is the part of the work which we do in this problem. So it is not stopped here. Like if you see here, we are, like, as I told in the beginning, it's a serendipity is the one which works in most of the research. So in this case, like I am able to make a different surfaces of PI wood. Surface different identities by with a different hydrophobic and hydrophilic nature. Now I am the one application what my other student is working currently is she uses this material and growing another applicant material. That is nothing but a solar cell. See, solar cells, you know, the basic solar cell works with the silicon. People always try to develop a new type of solar cell, cheap and cost-effective solar cells. So there is a new material in the field is called perovskite solar cell. Okay? Methyl ammonium lead iodide. That is perovskite solar cell. So such a solar cell, this material, like you when you want to prepare this material, it goes through the reaction. That reaction is depending on the hydrophobic and hydrophilic nature of the substrates. So that is the research we are doing now. So we take our substrates and make these solar cells grow. And the advantage what we are seeing is by our method we are getting a solar cell of highly stable nature. So this is what that's how the research always expands. We start from somewhere, like we start exploring it with different applications. So this is one of the applications what we are doing in this problem. Okay. With this, I would like to thank all of you again. So as I told you again, because of your interest, this workshop is conducted. So keep this interest up. Okay, that's very important. So again, I thank the organizers, Pradeep and Parimindal for their hospitality and the organization department and the adoption department, and the other faculty of the department for arrangement. Thank you all. Maybe you could go to next slide. So this is a small group of students whom working with me. Like they are both the PhD and this is R&D students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Participants, if you want to ask any questions, you can ask. Without doubt, sir, morning, sir. And maybe this question is not related to this topic, but when we say colors, why I don't understand it. And how do we interpret that black and white images to our real life?
Black and white.
No, sir, no, sir. You said the contact angle images and which is black, and when we see segment images, which is also black and white colors, and white like that.
Yeah. See, okay, first I will go into two different things. Please see. These are two different things. If you see the contact angle measurement, as I told, kind of 1 microliter of water, okay, which you cannot see with the eyes. See, when the color comes only when you see with the visible light. When you cannot see with the visible light, so whatever color which you are seeing is the light which is getting reflected. So if you are seeing the dimensions, whatever color reflected from micrometer, like you cannot see any color. So you don't have enough density there to see anything. That's the reason it is in the black color. If it's the bigger color, I mean it's a bigger dimension, then different colors are possible. There it is not possible. That's why it's in the black color. Because of this lens scale. Okay, that is one thing. That's the reason the contact angle droplets are in that color. Yeah, that dimension you cannot see any color. It will be dark only. That is another one thing. Second thing, SEM, if you come to, SEM is like nothing but an electron microscope. Okay. The electron microscopy, the electron gives the change of the intensity. So there is no color. See, color is only the visible range. You will not realize that. Only when you are talking visible range, you will see the color. When it's in the electron microscope, so electron microscope, the electrons are, whatever you are seeing is the electrons which is reflected from the surface. Okay. So that lens scale is not in the visible range at all. You keep a special camera to capture it. So whatever the electrons coming out, the electrons will go when you say electron camera, which is the electron detector use. More the electromagnetic radiation, you know that kind of a photomultiplicator. It is counting the numbers. Okay? So whatever the intensity you see, when the number of electrons are more, it will be bright. The number of electrons are less, it will be like that dark. That is how the contrast comes. There is no question of coloring at all. When you see something in the visible range, when it is dark, so there like see people bring some artificial coloration. It is for publication purpose, but whereas the technique wise it is only black and white. Coloration is not possible, but there is no meaning in color also. When you say remember that the color is associated with the material property. So in the case of electron beam, there is no material property you can assign there by giving a color. If you put a red color, it means that there is a red emission there. Is it true? So it will be misguiding. So it is not allowed. But people still bring some artificial coloration for like kind of attractive purposes. But it's not right.
If we analyze medicine structures, fluid structure, how can we understand the structures from the figure?
Yes, same thing. It is coming from this type of principle. Coloring is not like kind of like I don't know what is the example you say.
Make a semi-made, it exactly looks like a layers with some gaps, and we also put some 1 nanometer gaps like that.
Yeah.
So, mention how we can directly say up from the picture.
Yes, directly that's what you have to take in terms of the type of medicine. Electron emission from a surface depends on the two parameters. One is whether the material is the metallic or insulated, and whether the material is of the same working distance. See, when you see a surface, you see this surface, there are switches there. There is a press and thrust column. And the electrons are coming from this area, that will be difference. Okay. So by seeing the property, by knowing the material, you can analyze it. Okay. So either it's coming from the kind of depth, from height, or at different material units. But to rule out this possibility, that's why people do a something called wax scattering. You know, EDS, right?
Yes.
That is how it's being done. We are just doing by seeing the image. You cannot say that it's different material or the different feature. It will be same. But by doing the EDS, because EDS gives the contrast with respect to the type of material present. So by just seeing that, you can say differentiate. Otherwise, you have to go by the depth different from.
Yes.
Right.
That is a new technology model. Right. And that is a coating infrastructure or which transparent and glass which is made from similar white LED.
Actually, can you come without by I'm not able to develop it.
The reading screens and tabs, there's a rich glass and that's not medium is moving up and down, which creates a different color.
This is something called electrochromic. So they give an electric field. The colors will change. That is one way of doing it. Regular LED, see the LED, whatever we are saying, the screens, there are two techniques. There is a back LED lighting there. So, whatever by changing this light intensity and the thickness between the two layers, you can change.
What is it? It's inspired from the figure.
Figure, yes, yes.
is contradicted with by the nomenclature hydrophobic and hydrated.
Sir, actually, it's an interesting question. Essentially, it is kind of, it goes by the application, sir. Whenever you say this hydrophilic, okay, so the environment needs this. Nature accordingly modifies it. That's all. Because whatever, when it say hydrophobic there, it has to absorb water. If it's hydrophobic, it is not absorbing water.
Due to lack of water.
Yeah, so then it will not grow there. So that is the reason hydrophilic is needed there. But then also there is one insect, I don't have it here. Yeah, so it collects the water by the hydrophobic nature. So water from the body, the water is collected, it goes to the mouth, it's collected like that. So it's an interesting question, but the nature wants that. Though it is hydrophilic there, but the nature wants hydrophobic.
Sir, I have one question, sir. You separately intimately Pickman and the size, sir. You also have more photographic activity, sir. So which one is best degradable activity, sir? Best degradable activity. Best dye and Pickman, sir. Sir, but you explained that the difference between dye and the pigment, sir. Which one is best degradable? Basically degradable, sir.
Degradable. Okay. See, as the name implies, the dyes are the one it will degrade quite easily. Because if you see here one slide, I show that how it will react. The dyes and pigments. Okay, the dyes are mostly the water soluble ones. Pigments are not water soluble ones. Because the water is the one medium which is coming in contact with the surface. It's not like the surface is exposed, but the moisture. If you see here like the moisture, the relative humidity, it will be like some 70, 80 will be there easily. So if you keep a surface here, the object with that color, it will degrade easily. So pigment is the better one.
So another question is recycling process, sir. Recycling of dyes and the pigment. Which one is best easily recyclable?
I'm completely off. I don't know. I'm sorry. It is not my complete. I don't know any of it. Sorry about it.
Yes, sir. Sir, you mentioned surface area, sir. So basically, carbon material having a larger surface area, sir.
Okay.
Carbon material having a
Yeah.
easily high surface area, sir.
Okay.
May also working that. But you mentioned only T only, sir. You just adding some carbon material, na degradable.
No, I have mentioned it. See, the carbohydrates which is forming on the surface is playing important role in defining the surface tension and the contact time. I mentioned that actually. Maybe if it is not proper, it's the carbohydrates playing important role. So you see the wetting, there are different rules are there. Okay, the passive measure and the Vensa model. So all the models going based on the carbohydrates forming on the surface. Carbohydrates are playing important role. See, whatever the data structures we have oxides, which is doing a photocatalytic activity. Okay, that is the reason the oxides are important. Because of the catalytic activity, it splits the carbohydrates. Okay, that is how it plays the role. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are any questions you can ask? Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of our Department of Physics, I thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Actually, sir is so friendly. என்னுடைய personal experience என்னன்னா, I started my PhD in Pondicherry University. When I started, there was no any facilities there, so we have to depend on other institutions. So, sir was exposure
I was able to finish my PhD. So, as a students, as a beginners, research scholars, and the faculty scholars are here. I think you can replace him. He's so friendly. No problem. You just take his mail ID. You can contact him. And again, even after 20 years of my teaching experience, Sir was helping me for doing my getting my young scientist award. So in 2019, I got my young scientist award. I was able to work in this lab for more than 6 months. Thank you so much, sir. I take this occasion to thank you so much for that. I call Dr. Karthikeyan sir from History Department to honor our speaker with shawl and shield. Welcome, sir.
Field glass.